This is Frank Salazar, and welcome to Crossbows and Comics. This is a new segment I'm trying out where I show off my crossbow because I think it's a pretty cool crossbow, and I show off some cool comics, or are they cool? We'll find out. Today's episode will be going over Joshua Kemble's memoir, Two Stories. We'll be going over that in a little bit, but before we get to the comic part, let's get to the crossbow part. So here it is. Here's my crossbow. I've actually I named this Kindness. If you can, I don't know if you can see it, but here I kind of etched in the name Kindness. So originally I bought this one, I think, on a website called Speedy Toys, uh, but you can find one on Amazon. Actually, I got this site from Amazon, so I customized it and I added this nice little camel wrapping here. So, this is my crossbow. Now, let's get to the comics. I do want to say, even though I got the crossbow from a site called Speedy Toys, it is not a toy. Alright, so on to the comics part. Like I was saying, this is Two Stories by Joshua Kemble. Check out this cover. Okay. Let's get a close-up here. Joshua Kemble, Book 1. Two stories. I only see one story here, Josh. Well, that's not entirely true. Alright, so let's just flip here to the back. This has the little synopsis of what Two Stories is about. So I'm just going to read this. Two Stories is a memoir about faith and mental illness by Zarek award-winning cartoonist Joshua Kemble. Josh thought he was living the artist's dream. The young, ambitious comic creator had a hip Portland apartment, an affectionate fiance, and his whole life ahead of him. Until the night he finds himself on Burnside Bridge, willing himself to jump. How did he get there? Two Stories is a confessional graphic memoir that grapples with questions of faith, mental illness, depravity, and ultimately redemption in a fallen world. Alright, so let's just open this up. So I'm not going to show you the entire graphic novel, but I just do want to show you this part, and I'll show you some other things. But part 1, Suicide, Panic, and Christian School. So, alright, so here we are on the first page. I like this panel layout. It's like a Windows here. It's using Google. You got the search here, ways to kill yourself painlessly. You have Josh looking online, ways to kill himself painlessly. There's different article that he came across. So there we go. A reference to It's a Wonderful Life. Here we got Clarence, It's a Terrible Life. So the art, first of all, I just want to say the art is fantastic. Don't want to show that part yet. So it is called Two Stories. It is told in two different styles. So this is the more realistic style. And I don't want to go through the entire thing. I want you to actually pick this up. There's a link below to Amazon, so you can get this for yourself. But what I like about this this graphic novel, this whole story. When I first came across Joshua Kemble, he was talking about his graphic novel he was working on, and he had it on Tapas. The entire thing was up on there. And I remember reading this part. How it just started off with already in depression. Already, he's and here he is on Burnside Bridge. Already, looking up ways to kill himself. And not that I think suicide is glamorous or anything, but because I found myself in this place. Not necessarily on the top of a bridge, but you know, other circumstances, other situations. But yeah, I've made that search before on Google. So this really you know, it hit home. Yeah. And here we go in the second art style. You know, it flashes back to his youth. So you know, so I like how it's a little bit more cartoony. Here you go, Josh here. When I was a young boy, you know, he's talking about his favorite movie, Back to the Future, which is one of my favorite movies, especially Part 2. There he is. Talking about how he kind of wasn't the kid everyone wanted to play with, you know, for sports and stuff. And again, that was me. I did find myself in this story a lot. I don't think I made a snowy mountains though. Here you go. We got your bully here again. Like two different art styles. I like the crisp, clean line art here on this style for the flashbacks, the I guess his child stories, and the contrast with the more serious parts. So here's a pretty cool page talking about panic attacks and panic disorder, and kind of like going through all that, the symptoms, and you know, here how you kind of like you end up feeling that you're going crazy or you're losing it. It's a very powerful book. It's a very powerful story. It's not glorifying suicide. It's not glorifying mental illness. It's just you know, helping you kind of understand it if you've never gone through it. You know, there's ups and downs. You know, there's good days. There's bad days. And you know, looking back at your childhood, there's good stuff in the childhood part of the stories, but there's also stuff he was battling with, stuff he was going through. Again, like hitting home. Like I wasn't the popular kid at school, and you know, so I would find myself, you know, similar like this, you know, trying to make friends with where I could, but you know, wasn't always. I don't know. I was a. I don't want to just talk about myself, but you know, just the fact that this story is just like it's bringing back a lot of memories. It's bringing back a lot of just a lot of stuff that you know I had gone through, and just being able to see, you know, that Josh overcame all that, like, and I also overcame came that. So that's two stories. So this is something that did resonate with me, and I do recommend this. I do recommend this if you've ever been here, if you ever gone through the stuff like this, or you know someone who has. This might help you to kind of understand that a little bit better. Uh, the story itself, I like the story. I mean, it's Joshua's story. There's like so much in there. I didn't really want to go through every little thing, but there's just like a lot to go through. But it's all good. I mean, it's well told, well drawn. Now let me review the comic quality itself. So you can get this on Amazon. So I'm maybe if Josh watches this, he'll correct me in the comments. But I believe this is done through KDP, through a publisher, but they used KDP, at least for Amazon. And there's the publisher logo there, Marcosia. The cover quality, it's It has a nice little feel to it. I'm not sure like I think this would be a matte finish. I see it kind of bends, so the paper, it's pretty standard paper stock. It's nothing fancy, but I mean, it's you don't always want that. But if you're gonna put a comic on KDP, you might take that into consideration. Just the type of paper you want. I don't know if they have options. I've never used KDP. But it's not bad quality, but like I said, I don't think they have a lot of options. I think the line art, the black and white, the just the that this is in black and white, it plays well. Like you know, you get a good feel for it. It does look good in print. Uh, so yeah. All right. Well, I mean that's it for just reviewing the story and reviewing the quality of the comic itself. Again, let's go back here. So this is the little synopsis, and it is for mature readers. So it's not for kids. Just because it's a comic doesn't mean it's for kids. Just because there's a cartoony style doesn't mean it's for kids. So there is some strong language in here. It's not riddled with it, but it's sprinkled here and there. Because this is a man's life story, so he put a lot of himself. Well, I think it's his life story, so yeah, of course he put a lot of himself into it. So I hold this awesome book. So this is again 2 stories by Joshua Kemble. There is a link in the description, so I do recommend this if you're someone who listen. If you're a friend of Josh, you're gonna want to pick this up. If you don't know who Josh is, you might want to know more about his story. This is a good start. He is working on volume 2, and I will leave a link to his YouTube channel because he streams almost every night working on the 2nd volume. But yeah, I'd recommend this if you've ever gone through like a lot of the issues here: depression, anxiety attacks, or if you just want to understand it a little bit more, I do recommend this book. Like I said, it really resonated a lot with me. There's like just similar things that like right off when I opened it, it just hit me. I can't really explain it. That is something that I have done. Searching up on Google there. So that's 2 stories, and this is my crossbow. Thanks for watching the first episode of Crossbows and Comics, or is it Comics and Crossbows? We'll see. Again, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. If you want to see more reviews like this, if there's any books you recommend, maybe later on, if this really catches on, I might also review Crossbows, but we'll see. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.